Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Cliff. My name is Cliff. Yes, I really did get hit by a bus and escape a burning plane with my friend Cole Duvenois. And these are the stories that chronicle my journey to get 1% better every single day across the areas of mind, body, business, and relationships. Today's story is called That One Thing. Advice is everywhere, and it seems like almost daily somebody is telling me, oh, let me give you a little piece of advice. While that may be helpful, one piece of advice in particular seems to really resonate and help to push me through. One thing I always like to do is I research how people who have achieved great things, how did they get started? When things were dark, how did they push through? How did they make it to that next level? I'm reading an article about John Grisham. Now, John Grisham, he has written multiple time New York's bestsellers, including The Firm and The Pelican Brief. Multiple books have gone on to become movies. And his advice, which I've actually heard before, but I think is very telling, he says, write at least one page every day without fail. If you're trying to write a book and you're not going to write one page a day, then the book is not going to get written. This basically is the core of the 1% rule in action. Do one thing every day to keep the ball moving forward. But sometimes it's really hard. Now, I've already extended my stay in Michigan. My parents need more help than I originally thought. I've taken them to get some testing done, and I'm actually kind of a little bit freaked out about what the test results are going to reveal. I've got a ton of projects that are on my plate and projects that I need to do to help pay the bills. So it's a ton of tug of war, this internal battle between what I really want to do versus what I need to do. Add to that the responsibility of everything that comes with the family, and it really starts to bog me down. And there are some days where I wish I could crawl back into bed and try to mentally restart the day. And these past few days have kind of felt just like that. Add to that the doubts that creep in. I mean, I write a book. Who's going to read it? Who's really going to want to read whatever it is that I have to write? Is my story really worth sharing? Well, Grisham, in one of his interviews, actually said something I thought was really empowering. There are times that I would put it down for a month, and I wouldn't want to pick it up again. I would say, I'm tired, I don't want to do that anymore, and I would just want to sleep. So why am I doing this? I used to walk in the bookstores and see tens of thousands of beautiful books, and I would say to myself, who really wants to hear from me? But you know what? What do I have to say? And how do I add to that? And I just finished the book, and after 3 years, and I was lucky enough to get published. So this morning, I sit down in front of my computer. I put my head in my hands, waiting for something, anything, to pop into my head to write. And I look up and an hour has passed. That little voice in the back of my head says, you need to do one thing today, Cliff. That one thing that moves the ball forward. I put my fingers on the keyboard, and I force myself to type something. Anything. I remember I once wrote something along the lines of, you are the author of your story, so write a story that's worth telling. And I think with Grisham, had he chose to let the tiredness win and just go back to sleep and not pick up his writing anymore, if he gave in to his insecurities, gave in to his self-doubts, then his story of being a multi-New York Times bestselling author would have never been written. But it was his commitment to that one thing every day, his commitment to write one page that carried him through. So let me ask you, once you accept that you're the author of your story, what will your story be? Will you let doubt beat you, or will you write a story that's worth telling? This has been Coffee with Cliff. Thank you for listening.